When was the last time you did something for the first time? Do you remember that feeling of hesitation? Maybe you're not ready. Perhaps you're not good enough. You doubt yourself. It's a long road ahead. And right now you think safe is a good place to be. You take a step back, but in doing so, you see the whole picture. You remember the stakes you were brave enough to take. So you shout at the unknown no longer because you are your own master. You rise up because you know you're not alone. Because you stand on the shoulders of the ones before you. And through them you realize you are more afraid of not trying than failing. They hold your hand, lead you to the peak of your potential. And once on top, you take the leap and do it. The first time you flew and tasted freedom. The first time you went the extra mile and never looked back. The first time you understood that something so small could change the course of your future. The first time you put yourself first. At First Metro Asset, we value you and your achievements. As we navigate through this better normal together, we are here to help you cherish your firsts and make those moments last.
Good morning, everyone. So, welcome to our year 4 of Smart Women Invest, brought to you by FAMI. My name is Ingrid Cruz from First Metro Asset Management, and join us as we are thrilled to bring this conference in which we opt to inspire and empower women to lead financially successful lives and businesses. So, when your values are clear, financial decisions become easier. Now, don't miss out the opportunity to get the clarity and control you need. And our mission today and the years to come is to empower the others and make a difference in the community. So also, we will be giving away prizes at the end of the program. So stay tuned for that. And to host this morning's exciting event is the first female president and CEO of First Metro Asset Management, Miss Karen Liza M. Roa. Miss Karen, the floor is all yours.
Okay, I think we're on. Hello and welcome everyone. I'm thrilled to be here with you. Thank you for joining us this morning in an inspiring online webinar entitled SheEO, Celebrating Women Leaders in the Workplace. You know, March is Women's Month, so this is the 4th year that we've been doing this, and we're very delighted to have our panelists who I will introduce to you later on. Okay, we're here to celebrate women's passion, purpose, and for all that we are, for all that we do, mothers, wives, professionals, frontliners, thank you, and we salute you all. We want to celebrate a very special role that women play in successful businesses today. And I'm delighted that we've got a fantastic panel here to discuss this topic with us. Our first guest, let me start to introduce to you because I'm sure it's going to be a very engaging morning to talk about many things. You know, when women all come together, it becomes, we need to control ourselves and make sure that we kind of stick to the topic at hand. So let's start, by introducing our panelists. Our first guest has 20 years of experience in the consumer healthcare industry across various roles, which include global, regional, and local positions in marketing, sales, business development, innovation, and general management. She has vast experience in emerging markets such as Brazil, India, China, the Latin America and Southeast Asia. Prior to returning to the Philippines in 2014, she was based in Bangkok and Philadelphia for 12 years. A former board member of the European Chamber of Commerce and currently a member of the Filipina CEO Circle. Shared a knowledge and skills advocate to empower women in business to uplift the status of the female leaders of the future. That's what Filipina CEO stands for. Okay, she's a professional coach, all right, certified by the International Coach Federation and Gallup Strength Finder. Wow, you know, epitome of, you know, multitasking all over the place, right? You know, but always focused nevertheless. Everyone, let's all welcome the General Manager of Sanofi Consumer Healthcare Philippines, Ms. Vanee Gosiengfiao. Hi, Vanee.
Hello, thank you for having me here. Pleasure to be here, everyone.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you. All right, next we also have with us the President of BellaFaccia and former General Manager of the Generics Pharmacy. She honed her first 11 years of career at Unilever Philippines and gained solid experience in sales, customer development with specific roles in modern trade, distribution, trade marketing, and category management. Later answered the call of entrepreneurship and co-built from scratch a personal care and foods distribution business as managing partner for Go Leverage Distribution Corp. Obviously, the adventure always never stops. She started also from scratch BellaFaccia together with two partners aimed at sourcing and curating beauty and wellness products that build confidence and well-being for its target audience, particularly Filipinas from all ages and walks of life. May Abarquez, thank you for joining us and welcome to SheEO Year 4. Are you there?
Hello, Karen. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry about that. So I'm so thrilled to be here. So looking forward to this talk.
Thank you, May. Thank you for coming over, joining us this Saturday morning. Okay, and last but definitely not the least, we have the General Manager and President of Southeast Asia region of Clorox Company. Okay, this is our favorite also. Clorox, Burt's Bees, Preston. Oh, see? Alam ko na, ha? Oh. She leads Southeast Asia region to build the brands that consumers love across the Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and the Philippines. I mentioned that. Prior to this post, she was Managing Director of Johnson Diversey Philippines and managed the Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines cluster. She rose from the ranks to increasing levels of responsibility in previous companies in banking, manufacturing, and consumer goods. An active member also of the Filipina CEO Circle, awarded as one of the most influential Filipino women in 2016 by Filipino Women Network for her role as a builder. Having earned professional accreditation for coaching, she volunteers to coach young professionals and out-of-school youth to help develop their potentials. Everyone, please join me in welcoming Ms. Marites Dagdag.
Hey, Tess. Hello, everyone. Hi, Karen. And I guess this completes the trio with Vanee and May.
Yes.
Only trium perfectum.
My gosh, you ladies are, I mean, all these regional roles, all of these cross-functional roles. Well, that's why you're here. And thank you once again for being able to join us on this. The intention is to inspire our audience, okay, about the leadership, that roles that you have rose through. And of course, because we are a financial services company, we also wanted to get your insights about, how it is that, women, particularly women leaders, manage their money. All right. So if you may, we shall begin. Everyone all right with that? Okay. So how's it been? First of all, how's it been during this pandemic? 2 years, nag-level 1 tayo exactly 2 years after the first lockdown, right? Are we all relieved? Are you guys busy as ever or raring to go? Let's start the ball rolling with Marites. What are your, where are you right now? How are you and where are you right now?
Very well. I think in the pandemic, we had a choice to shrink or thrive. So I chose the latter. Of course, everyone, the company is really very, very concerned about the health and safety of our employees. So we chose to work from home. But we understand also that not all roles can work from home. So we have our plant and they report to work every day, but they had good protocols to ensure safety. And yes, we did have some COVID cases, but fortunately, we all survived. And everyone's thriving now. At home, because you're locked down, ECQ for us meant enhanced creativity. So, for my husband and I and our children, we built a little garden, and now we're self-sustaining with our vegetables.
Wow.
And believe it or not, we have a little strawberry because it's strawberry season. So we're not missing Baguios to a large extent. So we will have our summer fruits. Very So yes, I think that the pandemic really has changed a lot of our paradigms, and you know that you either hate it or you just live with it, and I think everyone has a choice. And I think to a certain extent, the pandemic also made us save because we're not traveling as much. We're choosing where to spend our money better. So I think this has all been the silver linings of the pandemic.
I like that. Wow. You're talking about your backyard? That's where you started planting?
Yeah, backyard, which used to be a wasteland. So yeah.
Congratulations, Tess. That's great to hear. I like that. You either shrink or you thrive.
Yeah.
Always a choice. Always a choice. Vanee, how are you doing? How have the last 2 years been?
Good, thank you. Marites, my goodness, into gardening. I tried. But, even my cactus died. Can you imagine? Cactus na nga lang, hindi pa mabuhay. So I therefore decided it's not for me. but I think the pandemic, like for most of us, has given its opportunities. I was able to be healthier. I got into Pilates via YouTube para napopost, diba? Kung mahirap na. But really, time with family, time with the kids, and time for myself as well. So personally, it's been great. But I must say though that I am raring to go back to the office once in a while, because we're pretty privileged in Sanofi. Even before the pandemic, it was already flexible work hours and flexible workplaces. So it's work from anywhere, work from home or work from anywhere, 2 days in a week. So that was even before the pandemic. So now we're going back to flexible workspaces as well. So whenever the team are comfortable to go back to the office, they can. But otherwise, we're free to work virtually from anywhere. But yesterday I told the team, I'll be in the office. I reserved some of the rooms. Whoever is free and comfortable can join me for a team meeting. I thought that only a handful would come, pero kompleto yung team. So sabik, I think, sabik na ang mga tao to get back and have that physical engagement with everybody, to have that chismis sessions again, but really for that collaboration again, right back in the office. So of course the pandemic is not yet over. We still have to stay safe, but there are ways, right? There are ways that we can catch up and physically engage back. And so I think that's what this is telling us. It's really going to, we all have to be resilient, because if not this pandemic, it will be something else. So we just need to live with a new normal, right? And be as resilient as we can.
That's so true, right? It's resilience, when you're faced with all of these adversity, and it's being agile also to adapt and be quick on your feet and say, okay, what are we going to do next? Or how are we going to do it? Yep. I like that. Resilience, thriving. Okay, these are my keywords, my buzzwords for the day so far. May, how are you?
Yeah. So the pandemic was really very extraordinary for everybody, but more so for healthcare. Yeah, because it was like there was the rise of the need for medicines, the need for vitamins, and as someone who was involved in the healthcare industry, so I was in the generics pharmacy. We were really very busy. So I was going to work every day. So to make sure that we have stocks. So we had to stabilize supply chain because at that time we couldn't get the medicines that we needed. So we stocked up on the COVID medication to make sure that all the pharmacies are stocked and we're able to satisfy our consumers. So yun yung nangyari. So personal naman on the personal front, how did I take care of myself? I had to make sure I wasn't a very regular vitamin C consumer. So it forced me to really drink my medicine, to really drink, your vitamins to strengthen your immune system. So before I used to attend a in-person Zumba class. So so to help also our our Zumba gyms, the instructors, so we paid them online, so they would still continue doing it, no. And of course YouTube is there. YouTube is always there. You don't have to pay anything. So I did yoga via YouTube. So there. So you just have to keep your sanity, and you can also learn a lot, no. There's a digital is available. I learned digital marketing during the pandemic, so I tried to enrich my knowledge on digital marketing. So that's how my it's just a short summary of what I've been through during the pandemic, and we still continue, and we are really hoping that business will open up. The consumers can go back. We're all raring to be out and be mentally be in a good place. Kasi it's also, sometimes you feel nakakulong ka, parang you're in prison. So you really want to go out, but we just have to be very careful and still practice the protocols. That's it for me, Karen.
Okay, thank you, May. Yeah, it's very difficult. We're really social beings. No matter how introverted you are, there is, like you said, Vanee, sabik diba? Remember nung nagkita-kita tayo dun sa, just a few drinks, diba?
Introvert din ako, right? So I love the first few weeks of the pandemic, but afterwards, diba? No matter how introverted you are, you still want to you still crave for that physical engagement.
Yeah.
Right. So, well, I hope, none of you, got really affected by, or loved ones or ganyan, we all managed through it. But I think that's really the name of the game, whether it be pandemic time or whatever crisis that we go through, it's really having to be, adapting to it and confronting it, and, but that's really what women are. I think, it's a test of, I think women have a lot of skill in that, being able to just, navigate through and manage through and juggle that, okay? So I wanted to find out also, how is your day to day? I mean, pre-pandemic maybe, or and pandemic? How do you wake up in the morning and then what? Do you meditate first? Do you pray first? Or do you open up and look at the calendar? How does that, how do your days go by? Vanee, let's start off with you. You said kanina, parang mahirap itong tanong na to.
Ang hirap ng tanong na to, all the questions. No, but I've always been a planner. Yeah, so even when I was 5 years old, I would already plan my day. So I wake up in the morning, of course I would do my prayers, I would have so it was all very structured ever since I was a kid. I needed that structure for myself.
Are you a morning person? What time do you wake up?
Yes, so I wake up at 6. I'm a morning person. When I was a kid, I would be awake by 5 a.m. So therefore, I really needed to plan my day because I can do a lot of things. No? But having said that, over the decades, over my life, I've learned that we need to be really agile. Yeah, and plans are there to be reshaped. Yeah, particularly in the corporate world, right? And then what this pandemic has taught us, the plans can be there, and it's good to plan, to put structure in. Personally, I needed that, but they're there to be changed. So even for my day to day, of course, I would have a plan. I would have my schedule, but they're there to be ruined.
By
Depending
you or by
on,
anything that happens, right?
yes, depending on what happens, and we just need to be agile, right? And that's where decision making, choices, being agile comes in, and prioritization really comes in. This versus this, what do I need to prioritize? Then, it's easier to choose. And then I love the opening of this session. It's about knowing your values so that then your decisions and your choices are clear, right? And then that's true as well, even for day to day, not even for the big life decisions. Even for day to day, what's the valuable thing that I need to accomplish today? And then, there are smaller things that you can make decisions on. So yes, I plan my day, but they're there to be ruined.
and you, from the start of the day, you already know, okay, these things might change, and
Yeah.
but I'll try to do this.
Yes, as long as the priorities are very clear. Yeah, there are some things that need to be done today. There are some things that need to
Yeah.
be done in a week. So I can then prioritize properly.
Okay, thanks, Vanee. Marites, you handle so many countries. How do you keep track of even what's going on in Malaysia? Ito ba yung issue ng Malaysia o sa Thailand ba to?
True, Karen. So, according to May, to Vanee, she's a morning person. She wakes up at 6. I also wake up at 6, but then try to sleep again. But yeah, by 7 I'm up and about. And one thing that work from home offers is that you don't really have to rush putting on clothes, right? I mean, today I'm in my shirt for this interview, but underneath I'm in shorts. So I'm like half office, half home in my getup. But I think thankfully there's technology to remind us of meetings. And because I haven't traveled quite a while to my other countries of responsibilities, I keep up with the news by reading their digital papers, like, for example, The Sun of Malaysia. And so I know where COVID is now, like where is Omicron now. I sort of like track it. But all in all, calendars, there are non-negotiables. As according to Vanee, yes, our plans are there to be ruined, but there are non-negotiables in my routine, and that is like at 4 p.m. My dog is already restless, sort of hinting that he wants to go out. And so I try not to schedule meetings around that. But if I really have to, then he just has to wait an hour more, right? So I think that is also my break, and I know that everyone needs some mental wellness to restore our sanity because of the pandemic. So I try to incorporate those routines that give me some quiet time to think, and just commune with nature. Be by my. I'm an introvert, much that people won't believe it, but really I find energy.
You used to say that na.
Yeah, but I think I find energy being alone as well. So to recharge myself. So those are sacred moments during the day. But yeah, rely on Outlook calendar to get you through, like, oh, I have a meeting at 4, and then I suddenly even forget about it. Like, so, just some mental exercise to remind me of my routines and my commitments.
Good. Thank you. Thanks, Tess. May, have you gotten schedules mixed up and jumbled up? I mean, does that happen? How do you
Of course,
organize?
that happens sometimes, no? Like, but your schedule and you're like holding a top position in the company is you really have to make sure na naka-calendar lahat, right? So my important meetings are calendared throughout the year already. Yeah, and that would be meetings with the ManCom, meetings with your leadership team,
Okay. The
meetings
regular ones, no?
Yeah, the regular is already
Yeah.
there. But sometimes, of course, the vacant slots would be for other stakeholders outside the organization, your suppliers, your your people that you talk to go on with projects. So sometimes, yeah, the schedule gets as Vanny was saying, it gets ruined. So you just have to be graciously ask the probably one of the parties that are in one slot to say na, hey, can we move this, so but you have time. That's why it's so important to me to actually check the schedule, maybe for the
Are
week.
you a morning person, or do you?
I wake up at 6. I wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. So what I do is my prayers are done the night before. So in the morning, I just say, thank you, Lord. I woke up today and I'm healthy. And then I go to my cell phone, which is like very, very bad. So that's something that I think I need to get away from. Kasi parang, all our life is like, tied to our phones. So I already know what my schedule is. But in spite of that, marami pa ring schedules na sometimes nasisira because, di ba? Because there's a lot of people who want to have your time, want to have your opinion, want to have your decisions.
Correct,
So,
correct.
so there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but the schedule is always good. And just make sure lang to prioritize. And that
Okay.
works. Yeah.
I guess that moves into our next question, the priorities, and how do you actually stay true to yours? I like Marites mentioned, pag medyo 4 o'clock, kailangan yung aso niya, ilalabas na, diba? Or, or Vanny has that expectation already that this is something that I'm going to start off with, but, it may not necessarily be, it may not work out to how you planned. Surely things have fallen in between, and there are sacrifices that has happened, throughout also our careers, right? And the challenges.
Yeah, that's right.
This role is not a bed of roses all the time. People think that, it's such a fab job, and where we've arrived, there have been some challenges all throughout. Do you want to talk about that? And I'm also going to ask, the other ladies, sacrifices as a person, as sacrifices as, family or career. Any thoughts on that? Any sharings, if you will? Otherwise, okay lang.
Okay.
Yeah, I can take that, Karen.
Sige, si Vanny can take that. All right.
Sure. So I don't consider them as sacrifices. I consider them as choices. No? Kasi when it's a sacrifice, it sort of takes out the sense of ownership and accountability. So I consider them as choices that I've made, and therefore I'm comfortable with implications and consequences. So one of the key ones in my career really was during my first GM role, in fact. Yeah. So I had just come from an international role in Philadelphia, went to Bangkok for my first GM role. It was for another company at that time. Was spending my first 2 years there. Fantastic, right? Bangkok is a great place to live in. Yeah, so I could live there forever. And the business was doing good. But that was the time that we found out that my husband was sick. And my 18-month-old son, we found out also had developmental problems. He was on the autism spectrum. And so the choice really was, do we stay here or do we go home or do we go live in another place? Yeah, because the specialization needed for my 2 loved ones were not there in Bangkok. Yeah. And then so to me, it was a clear choice, right? It wasn't really just, it wasn't a sacrifice at all. Career is just a career. And that's where crises like this or big life decisions like this really make priorities very clear. So to me, it wasn't even a question of, how will I get my career back on track? Not even a question, right? It's my family is more important. They're more important than anything else, and so therefore, it was my choice to go back to the Philippines, and then I don't regret it. Yeah, because afterwards I've gotten into so many other things, gotten my career back on track. wouldn't be able to meet this wonderful circle of Filipina CEOs. And then got into a few other things, right, that really helped with my development. So more than that experience in international, which was part of my life plan. Yeah, and this is where, again, plans are there to be changed, yeah, depending on the circumstances. As long as the North Star, your purpose is very clear. So to me, my purpose is really about business transformations and transforming through other leaders, developing other leaders. And that I can do anywhere. That I can do in any position, in any country, in any role. And so therefore, that choice was clear to me. Go back home, no regrets, and haven't regretted it ever since.
I like that. I like how you framed that very succinctly, right? That it's not a sacrifice because it actually removes the accountability, but it is a choice. And it's true, right? I mean, when you say sacrifices, sometimes it's an excuse, right? It becomes an excuse. But when you actually, take the bull by its horn, really, that's what it is, then you choose to direct it, according to what your values and your priorities are. Thank you for sharing that. I know that the journey that you went through on this, Vanee, but thanks for that. Okay, I'm gonna ask also, there's another question, on women in business. Okay, I wonder if you've heard about the Grant Thornton. A lot of these consulting companies, Grant Thornton, Price Waterhouse, KPMG, they come up with various reports on different things. So according to the 2021 Grant Thornton Annual Women in Business Report, 48% of the executives in top companies in the Philippines are women. I wrote an article on this. Okay, 48%, okay, of executives are women. But the truth is, executives, but on the top level, it's actually far, far less. Okay, we're about less than 10%. Okay, what do you think? You spoke about challenges and sacrifices and resilience. What do you think makes a woman, okay, stand out as a leader? And I'll ask all three of you, kasi this is the time to toot our horn. May, you wanna start off with that?
Yeah. I can volunteer to be the first, no? So I think it's because number one, women have more empathy, yeah, compared to men, because we're more inclined to really find out what's behind the surface, no? We just don't accept, okay, this, for example, in the workplace, this person is not performing well, and if you grade, if we have our KPIs and we say, oh yeah, you grade him as a 5, no, 5 being the lowest, no, 1 to 5 and 5 being the lowest. So, pero we always have this, I think we always want to find out, and this person is not usually like that, right? So you have that thing, parang you need to find out what's going on inside this person. So I think we can do that better. We can express ourselves better. You can keep the environment safe for a person to reveal what's really inside him or inside her. So I think that's one trait that we women have. Yeah. And the second would be, we are multitaskers. Okay. We can drive a car, wear our makeup, put on your lipstick, have a Bluetooth here to respond to an issue, right?
Guilty.
Yeah, and then you're driving with your high heels pa. So and everything's going to be all right. I mean, for you, like Karen, you or Vanee or Marites, you've done that at least how many times, right? But that's normal to you, right? So I guess that's it for me. Is empathy and being a multitasker. We wear so many hats. We deal with people in the office. We deal with a lot of issues in the office, and at home we have to ensure that the house is efficient. You have to, you have to ensure that your helps or your driver or are everything are in order, is in order in the house. So that's how you manage it. That's how you manage your household, and that's how you manage the office. So everything organized.
That's so true,
I think
right?
only a woman can do that perfectly.
Yes.
So, yeah.
You're right. I like that. Nakarelate ako doon. Mascara in the car, driving with the heels. Yep, for years done that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Vanny, what about you? I mean, you juggled countries and family concerns and choices. What do you? Yeah, multitasking. Anything that you'd like to add to what May had said?
I think we're more resilient, because I think this crisis also has shown that, right? That we can take on different types of crisis, whether it's a financial crisis, whether it's an actual reputation crisis, or whether it's a personal crisis, right? I think that mothers, women, grandmothers are more equipped to handle that. And that's as well in the corporate area, yeah. And now in corporate, you don't just juggle different one type of crisis, you juggle different types of crisis. And I think that's where women leaders are very capable. We have that emotional resilience, and I think we have what I would call inner strength, yeah, because the notion of strength needs to be different, I think, in corporate leadership. It's not just about being the loudest voice. It's not just about having the last say in meetings. I think us women, we have that inner strength and that inner courage that no matter what, right? No matter what, we can plow through this. And I think it's that trust from our teams that can get us through.
Beautiful, beautiful, Vanny. Thank you. Des, isa pa
Yeah.
to.
I think women are more inclusive. Like we build teams in a collaborative manner, and because of probably our DNA, our physical structure, we are not as intimidating. We are less daunting. So people don't see us as a threat. So we're more approachable. So we use that influence to build relationships. Pero I don't think all of us women, I mean, we have women in the audience, we probably also have men. Women don't realize their potentials, diba? We often second guess ourselves. Tama ba yung sasabihin ko? Should I raise my hand and speak out? Because we always have that self-doubt. And guess who's the first to give up the job when there are home problems? It's the woman, right? So we all need evolved men, partners who are willing to see both sides of the equation all the time. I guess because ano ba, puso, courage. I think it's just the way that we're built.
Ego. I think women's ego is far less, or we just not, as strong maybe. So, and I guess it goes with that, that empathy, right? Understanding others, accommodating others. So
So here, Karen, I could say to the women in the group, take heart, be courageous, believe in yourself. And kung we have a male audience, please support your partner, your wives, your girlfriends, your moms, your daughters, and see them grow, be an ally. And when they grow and when they're successful, they'll take you along with them. Walang iwanan.
Oo nga. You, Marites, I mean, as a leader, I'm going to be jumping around. As a leader, how do you relate to your team, having said all of these things that we talked about, about women? I mean, is it apparent in your leadership style?
I think so. I cannot claim to be an expert, for example, in Malaysia. So I have to listen to the sales director, diba? But to tell me what's happening, what's on the ground, what's the best approach, because I cannot possibly know every detail. But, we call it a shared experience, because shared experiences build a relationship. So it doesn't have to be like you talk all the time about work or about how he's doing versus his numbers. Today, maybe he's just interested, very, very, very proud of his daughters going to Oxford.
Yeah.
So mga ganun na parang as a parent, I can relate with him, although he's in a different cultural setup. But I think it's the shared experience. Eating durian when I'm in Malaysia, baka may mga durian fans dito, something I miss very much. And I think also here for the Philippines, it's just really listening to your employees, allowing them to talk. I think I've learned that early on. My junior said, pwede ba pagkakausapin mo yung mga tao, wag mong tanongin yung how are you doing versus your budget, which I thought was the opening line. But since then, I've learned to take interest really. If you're really interested in people and know what their struggles are, know what their pride points and pain points are, then I think that's the building of a relationship which gets you through work, regardless of culture, regardless of who you're talking to, male or female.
So you're a good listener.
Ah,
Not very, not so directive.
I try to be.
Malumanay ka nga eh, no?
I try to be.
Mayu, what kind of a leader are you in terms of, your style and your
Yeah. So I think I'm very consultative and very democratic. Yeah. So if there's a problem, if there's an issue we need to resolve, of course I have to listen first to the expert, because I would not be the expert in everything, right? Like my expertise would be sales and marketing, but I don't know supply chain. I'm not an expert on IT. I'm not an expert probably on other related matters, no, related to those that I said, no. So I ask if it's an IT problem, I ask the IT director. If it's a supply chain problem, I ask the supply chain director. And of course, I need to the ideas from the other leaders is also very important. So it's more of a collaboration, right? So if you ask my leaders now, like if you ask for former team members, they would probably say I'm very democratic. I listen to them. Again, listening is very important. You can't be the expert in everything, and as a leader, you have to be humble, right? And to accept
humility.
Humility is very, very important. Like, at any age, no matter how many years you have been in corporate, there is always something that you do not know, and you need to accept those, and that makes you a better leader.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Vanee, you mentioned that, obviously through your journey in life, there have been choices that you've had to make, but then you mentioned that, you went on, maybe sidelined a little bit and then you're back on track. How did you do that?
Oh, sure. No, so
Especially
let's
because
answer
there
that.
were personal things that was going on, no?
Yes. I think there was also a question in that chat box, so hopefully this will be able to answer that question also. So yes, I took a sabbatical actually. So after I got back here in the Philippines, did some corporate work for a year, and then I took a sabbatical actually. I told myself nga this is going to be a semi-retirement. Yeah. So I lasted only 1 week in semi-retirement. I found out about myself na I can't pala stay at home. No? So that was a good learning for me. So then I had to do something. Yeah. So along with some ex-colleagues, we put up a consultancy, a strategy consultancy. So did a lot of exciting work, had a lot of learnings also. But what I found out also about myself is that I need to be the one to actually do the planning pala. I can't just provide the strategy pala. So I need to, this is probably my controlling side. I need to actually deliver it myself. And so knowing that about myself, and I think this is the first realization for me, I need to know myself. So therefore I know where I can focus on, what career I can focus on. And once that was clear, I needed to be back in corporate. I needed to be in a delivery role, in an execution role, still using my strategic thinking, but I needed to be in an operations role. So then it was easy, yeah. And I try to say easy in I'm not taking it for granted, right? For some it can be hard. But what made it easier for me is being able to reach out to people, yeah, because I think those connections will really help. And with those connections, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's informal connections, it's friends, it's associations, it's old batchmates, right? You get to find what jobs are available out there. and then you can get to choose. And then I think that my last advice is don't just get the first job that's available. Yeah, because then you're compromising yourself. Yeah, and then, you know, we know our worth, we know what we're good at, and we know what we want to do. So therefore, you know, we can take those choices ourselves, as long as we're able to connect with people, find out what's there, and then, you know, decide.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I mean, a lot of that's pretty bold also, huh? Not to take, you know, the next thing that comes along, especially, you know, when you need to. But definitely a recurring theme that we always talk about, Taz, May, in the FCC, is you need to put yourself out there. Right? It's a challenge, because diba, sometimes that's not your personality, eh.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? You know, I mean,
Through several interviews, and I must say, prior to that sabbatical, I was in a company for 15 years. I've never had to go through an interview. I got my roles. Yeah. So this was the first time that I really had to do my CV. I had to practice interviewing. And so, of course, yes, yeah, it takes boldness, but it also takes a lot of discipline and hard work.
okay, you know, I'm gonna segue. You know, now we know a lot of you know, your the personal motivations. You know, what you think are women characteristics and all of that, and you know, your leadership style. I'm gonna start asking about, okay, how about finance and budgeting? Obviously, as leaders, and we all know this, right? As leaders of companies, we look at the financials of our organization. We know what our targets are and what our bottom line is, should be, you know, but how do we actually apply that, you know, in our personal, in our personal role? Tess, are you the, you know, who manages, you know, your household finances? Is it you or is it Ron?
I think I do, or it's a shared responsibility. Um, Kasi since I'm the one working in a corporate world now and he has his own business, he said, so I kind of take care of the everyday, but he said he'll take care of the future. Wow. I hope he has invested a lot for my future, but I just like managing the company's profit and loss, or what our numbers are. I think don't spend what you don't have. Of course,
Yeah.
there's a certain, Warren Buffett, they say like reverse it, like most of the money goes on investment. But when you're still starting, when you're struggling, I remember my first paycheck, I just, parang it was gone in 60 seconds, parang ganon. I couldn't wait for the next payroll date. But that was like what, 450 pesos, half a month's salary. That's how old I am. Then as sometimes a joint income is also very helpful. But as you progress, I think there's a lot of self-control to be able to stay liquid. So if I use my credit card, I use it to earn points, but I don't do the minimum
Revolving.
amount to pay, so that you'll just get trapped. And I was once trapped in that situation where I couldn't finish off my credit card debts because I wasn't paying the full amount. So when I got over that, hard lesson learned, my husband Ron bailed me out. But anyway, and that's what partners are for, right? Bail you out. So after that, I said, never again. I have been debt free for, I think, more than 15 years. We fully paid our investments in real estate. And now I think, I just make a balance of investing our extra for long-term funds and short-term funds where, an emergency might crop up. And my idol here is my aunt, who's like she's 94 years old. She's a retired professor from UP. And like, she just goes to the bank every quarter. I think that's her excuse for going out. But she withdraws and she really lives on the interest. Ay, ganun pala. You just have your money, and for your spending, you have your interest to spend. Lovely, lovely situation.
Oo nga, pero self-control talaga. May, meron ba tayong self-control? Ako, sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't.
Well, it's really instilling that discipline in you, and it's not easy, right? So Marites, you're not alone when you say na ano your first paycheck, yeah, I spent it, no, but you know what I did, because I wanted to honor my parents, no. So when I was in my young career, so I really did something. I think I gave them a quite a big gift, no, when I was able to buy my dad a new car. Yeah, so yeah, so that was like that was very early on. I was still in Unilever at that time. So yeah, that one they were very, very happy. And if you say now, like what would be now the best proportion of savings to expenses, no? So I think as the rule would probably be as the Marites, I don't do my Excel, no. I don't do Excel for all my expenses. I have it in my head, and no, I do write it. And I think the 70-30 rule would really help. 70 on expenses and probably 30% on savings. And of that 30% of savings, probably half of that you can really save in money, in cash. And the rest, I really advise maybe invest it, because the money on just savings alone, probably the interest is really, really low. So you really have to, and you don't, I learned it over time, no? Hindi yan, you need to probably ask a friend, a financial advisor, or the bank was a lot of financial advisors, and they would have a lot of probably products to offer for people to actually check which would be a good investment, no, aside from probably real estate.
That's right. That's
Yeah. So
all right. Thank you. I should we should get you as showcasers for our company on investing. Vanee, what's the motivation when you make a purchase? And how much
Oo nga.
allowance of reward and yeah, di ba? Those are the temptation.
I must say, like in the corporate world, I delegate. I delegate the financial. I'm not the expert on that. So also with my personal monies, with my personal finances, I delegated. So that was my husband's work, really. I just proportion a certain amount of my monthly salary for the necessities, right? And then everything else goes into the future. And then I think that's going to be my major message here is be very clear about what's the essentials for now, and then what is the investment for the future. And then I must say that earlier on in my career, that was hard to do because 100% of my salary would really go into the essentials now, and nothing could, I hardly had anything to invest in the future. And then as I got older and there was more spare income, then it was really about investing in the future. So now it's really about that for me. What do I invest on? I found out one thing really that's important to invest in is health. Yeah, because especially here in the Philippines, right? More than half of our medical expenses are out of pocket. Yeah. We're lucky now we're in companies where there's medical insurance, but later on, what if we're outside of corporate already? Who's going to pay for that, right? So I'm investing in that, and even for my kids. Yeah. Also, it's about investing in our capability to earn. Yeah, because the trends are here globally, right? That it's an aging population, but also that we will be living longer as a population. Yeah. So we will be living longer, but there will be less people to take care of us in the future. Yeah. So how do we take care of ourselves? Yeah. And so that's also where I've started to invest in, is having that income for the future, having that medical insurance and health insurance for the future. And other things, non-financial, but I would consider as investments also. Investing in our health, being healthy, staying healthy for longer. Right. Because that will also enable us to earn more in the future, be more productive in the future. Also, part of my investment, you've read it, I'm a certified coach. That's going to be my retirement plan later on, right? So I invested really in certifications, in programs so that I can still, continue to earn income from that later on and still have fun. Yeah. And experiences. I must say that I don't invest so much in jewelry. I hardly have any jewelry, really. These are all fakes. um, just the essentials, right? Housing, car, etc. Yeah, but I do invest in experiences for myself and for my kids, because I think that's going to be essential also in the future. So invest in health, invest in our capability to learn, and investing in experiences.
How beautiful, huh? But you guys are not saying whether you're, parang everybody's so frugal, So I don't know, but maybe because, we've gotten older, maybe we've gotten wiser. So that's why, that kind of contributes to our, forward looking. But I'm sure, Marites, thank you for being very candid, because, I myself had, issues, financially and getting things kind of in order. And then I had a friend who said, it's about cash flow, cash flow, no, that, right? So I was like, oh, okay, and here I am in financial services. But, along the way, we all learn, all of these things, and sana, diba, people don't kind of like spiral down too much, but are able to pick themselves up. Okay. What are your thoughts about, we talk about investing and savings, but, May, did you do loans before? I mean, is that credit cards? I mean, those are the things these are actually tools. They're not bad things, right? I mean, my father always says that, it's hard to save, for the future if unti-unti, diba? So sometimes you have to hedge a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you done that?
Yeah, of course. I think you really need is to establish your credit, because at any point in your life, you would need a loan. For instance, when you build a house, when you invest in your business, and even for emergency funds, like what Vanee was saying a while ago. We don't have a healthcare, a very strong and robust healthcare system in the Philippines that takes care of people. And also, the Universal Healthcare Act has not been really passed, so we pay for our own, right? So unless you're in corporate, somebody takes care of you when you get sick, so you don't spend a penny. So you have to really have a credit card. Like for instance, when you travel, or you sort of need that, and you have to establish yourself like in the banking system that you have. You need a loan. You need a loan. In businesses don't exist without loans, right? But just ensure that you're able to pay off. Yeah, so you have to sort of compute already how much you have to pay. Can you afford it? How much you have to set aside for that. So I think that's the most important thing. Yeah, the ability to pay and to pay your obligations. Yun ang pinakamasakit, no? Kasi there's bound to be some sacrifices. And that's where a lot of people have a hard time, no? Including myself. So but when you get into like bigger loans in the future, like building a house is not easy, or building your business is not easy. Yeah, so I have a business loan because I'm handling my own company right now.
Good.
That's actually my investment for the future. So I've tried and I can do it. You can't do a business without funds, right? The right amount of funds is also very, very important. So these are tools. And it's not bad if you get a credit card or you get a loan, right? So these are tools that you invest for the future, right? So that's my take on that.
That's right. So I guess, like I said, no, it is a cash flow thing. You gotta be able to, some of us are a little bit more OC than others in Excel monthly cash flow, in, out, net, may ganyan. Marites, how do you think, you May? How do you budget? Si Ron does the future, you do the present. Oh, so how is your budget?
I think I don't budget at all. I mean, I think every household has like certain expenses, right? And you sort of like, ako nga, kagaya kay Vanee, I delegate. I delegate the palengke stuff to my trusted house helps. But we know that there's a certain level of spending monthly. The rest, I think, go to investments. And I'm not even investing a lot because I know there's like disproportionate money pa in the savings which earns lower interest. So I need to be more conscious about maximizing the potentials. I think also that investing could be for the future, like solar energy. Not only is it good for the environment, but since we had solar panels, we cut our energy bill by half. And now we even sell back to Meralco our excess energy. So I think those are the things that, are wise choices. Yes, it's an upfront investment, but then you ROI in 3 years, and you know that you've done something good for the environment by harnessing the power of nature. Budget, and then my kids are all, I think, self-sufficient in that I don't take care of their needs anymore. Graduate na ako dyan, and they're already also contributing to the household by sharing some of the expenses. So all's well. But I know it's been years since we got to this point, diba? There have been years of struggling when we moved to a new house. Parang 200 pesos na lang yata yung cash flow namin, yung naiwang pera. And we had to spend for locks because, you're in a new environment you didn't know. But I think with wise choices, and not to say that there weren't also foolish choices, like, you're growing in your career, so you have to invest a little about buying things for yourself, wag naman yung, so that you'll feel more confident. But of course, that's only part of it. And I like what
But
Vanee said.
necessary, right? Necessary.
Yes. I like what Vanee said, invest in experiences, because I think if you have many shared experiences with your family, that's the reason why they go back. And that's why, they keep coming back to you and talk. Reliving these experiences is such a family bonding that gives us all joy.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, I've read a lot of memoirs of great people. And sometimes, that's the regret that they have in life is, I wish I spent more time with my family, or I wish I attended all of the events and, so forth. So that was something like it's like awakening. And I said, okay, make sure that, especially tayo, we're women, we're mothers and, or sisters or daughters. So it's quite important, right? I mean, that's a very significant thing in our priority. Vanee, what is your best investment?
My best
Thanks, Marites.
investment. Oo nga. So one is, of course, investing really in myself, investing in my growth. So
And it's
all
paid
those-
off, right?
well, not yet. I have not charged anybody yet for my coaching. So it's still pro bono, but later on, right? Later on it can be. But aside from that, really, I go back to investment in experiences and relationships. Syempre yung mga Friday night outs and cocktails and brunches, to me, they're investment in experiences. So that's probably a little bit of my splurge, but I would consider them as investments in experience as well as relationships. Yeah. So those would be my biggest investments, really. And then now, as anybody who is a parent would attest to, once you have kids, you're bankrupt. Yeah, because all of the money really goes into their future, right? So I would consider that also as one of my biggest and hopefully fruitful investments. It's investing in my kids' education and future.
Right. Thanks, Vanee. Okay. I wanted to find out also, I mean, you ladies have all arrived. You're at the peak of your careers. Okay. For many of you, I mean, Marites, your children are all grown up. May, you've moved on to your own business, from a life of corporate. And Vanee, you're living a life of experience with your children and all of that. What else? What other life goals? Or even financial goals do you aspire for? Vanee, you're on my spotlight. You know, do you want to start off with that question?
So many other life goals, right? So I want to be able to, like maybe, yeah, have my own business, no? Especially in my coaching, which I find purpose in. Yeah, being able to still continue to develop leaders after my corporate career. Yeah, so being able to do that. Travel the world, you know, my younger ones are just experiencing, you know, to rediscover the world, right? Although they were born outside of the Philippines, over the pandemic, we hardly traveled, no? So my son has been making up a list already of the places that he wants to visit. Oh, mom, you know, I want to go here, I want to go here. So those are my future plans also, you know, even hopefully when I'm 60, 70, I still want to be able to travel the world with my kids. And then doing what I love best is developing others.
Great, great. Yep. So again, no, it's all of that selflessness, women and our selfless martyrdom. May, what is your financial and life goals?
Yeah, so right now I'm devoting time now to really put my business back on track, because it was also very much affected during the pandemic. So I wanted to make sure that it will earn more money, be more profitable. So I wanted to, well, I nahiya ako to share I have a target revenue, that I want to achieve. And like say 5 years, I want this to be XXX million pesos, for example. So yeah, so that's in my mind. Then how can I do that? How will I do that? So those are the plans that I'm doing right now. So what categories do I want to go into? Ano bang ibibenta ko for the Filipino market? So those stuff. So I wanted to be sustainable. I wanted to be profitable, and I wanted to be to really answer the needs of Filipinos. So the pandemic has really forced me to think about these things also. Although 3 years ago, when I planned this business, it was very, very hard. So my life savings is in this business. So you could just imagine how very important for me, for the business to succeed. So there, Vanee, I've already charged for my consultancy. Don't worry. You know what? That's what I did prior to entering my last opportunity, actually, to entering my last position. So I did consulting already. I've charged people already on that. I continue to do so. So like 2 months ago, I did consulting as well. So there. So it needs hard work, and I believe in women. So nasa atin yan. Women are very, very strong, and you would think that you cannot weather, pero nawi-weather mo yung mga storms.
Totoo. Yep.
So, and faith. Yeah, so that's it. Believe in yourself, have confidence. Take care of your connections. You don't know, na friends of friends maybe is your bridge. Yeah, so that's it. So the journey continues. So lady, I hope that I'll be able to bring you good news later on in this.
I'm sure. I'm confident. I mean, I have yet to see a woman, regardless of stature, where they are. I mean, resilience is a very strong, character trait that we all have. Wala kang choice, So you got a family, you've got, all of these things that need to be done. We deliver, right? Marites, thanks me. Marites, you delegate to Ron. Do you ask him, what is our future ba? What other goals and financial aspirations has he or you or both?
Oo nga eh. For us, it's just like the other day, because we were transferring our koi to the garden. So parang okay na tong retirement life na to, na afternoon, you bring out the dog, you watch the koi. It seems so idyllic, right? Na wala ka ng problema. But I think jointly we say, like, we'd like to live off on the interest, be abundant enough so that we're not dependent on children, but also to continue our advocacy, especially, my life's purpose is probably like Vanee's na be more sharing, serve others, and help them realize their potentials. And that is why, like Vanee, I'm also pro bono coach and doing the coaching for the students through the FCC. Women who are girls who are about to enter the workforce, graduating students, and make them realize na they've got so much to give and they've got so much potential and smart enough to make a name for themselves. They only need courage and confidence. So I think to be able to do that is the life goal. Continue regardless of, Karen, I should say, age or stature in life. There's always a reason to help others. And yeah, so financial goals. We haven't set a number really, but just enough so that we can continue sharing and be stable enough to be independent as well.
Okay. Well, thanks, Marites. Well, as you know, we are in the financial services. We do a lot of wealth management and retirement planning. First thing we got to realize is that, we're in our 40s and 50s. Longevity has extended, life has extended. So you need to start preparing for another 30 years. Okay. I think that's a big realization that we all need to face and we need to see, but I mean, from the looks of it, that frugal self-control, that discipline, but with every now and then a splurge, a life experience, a really a coffee and a drink now and then keeps our sanity in check, right? Ladies, I've got I time check. I've got about 11:15. We've talked about your leadership styles. We've talked about your financial goals and the characteristics and traits that have all brought us here. So with that, I'd like to thank you. But before, maybe we can go around and say, what advice first? No, let's end up with that. What advice do you have for women who want to be where you are, from a leadership standpoint? And how do we make them actually financially independent? Because we're so giving. You're so giving. You're so selfless. We empathize with everybody, but at the same time also, we need to be financially independent and we want to be able to be leaders. I will start off with you again, May. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I know that we have young millennials watching or young couples watching. So my advice really is to start young, start saving and investing while you're still young, because the more years that you save, of course, the more money, the amount will be bigger. And I say young because for example, when you invest in insurance, for example, the premium you pay when you're younger is lower because you're healthier. So that's my number one advice. Number two, diversify your portfolio. So don't just rely on savings. One of the things that I've invested, which I'm very happy with, is also my health insurance. It could be not just life insurance, health, which could be an inpatient kind of health insurance, because again, we don't have, our government doesn't really pay for us when we're sick. So have that insurance with you, and when you do invest, you're actually taking care of your family, for your children. So think about them. When you're you never know that we never know the time of the day, when we will all leave this world. So just make sure that you have something for those that we leave behind.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thanks, May. Thank you, May. Vanee, your thoughts on being women financially independent?
So women need to be independent, period. Financially and otherwise. Yeah. The biggest advice that my mom gave me was really to have my own bank account, even if I was married. Yeah. But that's true as well outside of finance, right? We need to be in our own. Yeah. We need to be comfortable on our own. And so my advice really is for everybody, female and male, to be comfortable with yourself, and really be bold and courageous to be yourself and find your life purpose. Yeah, because I think that, in connection to your introduction, I really love the introduction. When your values are clear, your decisions, financial and otherwise, are also clear. So my advice really is to find your life purpose, live it, yeah, and invest in it. Yeah, invest in your purpose. Invest in your health because you would need it to live your purpose. Invest in experiences because it's also part of living your purpose, and invest in yourself and your future because you can't be living your purpose without being scared of your future, right? So really that. And my last words really are, we only have one life, let's make it matter.
Like that. I like that. You got to be scared of your future to be able to find your purpose. Yep. And live, what did they say? YOLO. There we go. I have to think about that, right? Tagal eh, no? Thank you, Vanee. Thank you for that. Marites.
Oh, I echo everyone, everything that May and Vanee said. I will put a little twist though. We all believe in a God, or whoever it is we believe in, that holds our future in our hands, right? So I think that we do control what we can control, but otherwise there's also a God who has plans for us. I share a little secret. 10% of my gross goes to tithing, and I think it's biblical, and it has provided us what's this? A gate has opened wherein we are blessed financially. And I believe that it's also because I've been true and the family has been true to giving back a portion of our income to the church we are in, or to whoever is in service of spreading the faith in our world. No, so it's unexplainable, but I think the more I kind of ask God, oh God, magre-retire na ako. Paano yan? Di na ako makakabigay sa inyo ng 10%. But then parang all of a sudden, like, hey, here's an extension paper. We want you to continue working. So I think that if you have that faith that God provides, and you are true to what He's asking to help our workers in the vineyard, the money just goes back, and His blessings go back. So it is tough. It's 10% gross, not 10% net. But I feel that if you make that commitment, hindi ka papabayaan ni Lord. So it's a little bit on the something you can calculate, and what May and Vanee said are very true. But this is just my take that, not everything I did was because of me, but was because of Him.
Amazing, amazing. We thought this was going to first start off with, some financial literacy, but what's always amazing talking to women leaders, and this is my experience, with all of you, and any others, is, the diversity of the responses, no? We can go from chismes to substance to faith to God, and being, totally selfless, and it's always a very enriching conversation. And you always pick, there's so many things to pick up, so it's always nice to just kind of come together, talk about it, share the experiences. And I thank you ladies for doing that, on an early Saturday morning, right? I mean, it's never always just a transactional thing, or an activity that needs to get accomplished, but there's always purpose, insights, motivation, and inspiration behind everything that we do. And I think that's because of the life experiences, and maybe because of how women are actually wired, you know, that I think that's they all come together. So, you know, with that, I'd like to thank you once again from the bottom of my heart, you know, also, you know, in behalf of the First Metro Asset Management, for having come together this morning and sharing all of your experiences. I know, you know, some were very personal, you know, and some were also very intellectual, but that's really who we are and what we're all about. So thank you once again. With that, I will turn you over to Ingrid. I think Ingrid, you're next. Okay.
Yes.
Ladies,
Thank you so much.
thank you. That's Marites Dagdag, May Abarquez, and Vanee Gosiengfiao. All right. All yours.
Thank you so much, Ms. Karen, and to our CEOs for the inspiration you brought to us this Saturday morning. So truly we'll keep what you shared in our hearts and minds, and as we walk towards our own path to success. So thank you all so much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to another exciting part of the program, and we'll be giving away prizes. So dito natin matetest kung talagang nakinig kayo in our program today. So no worries, no financial calculations involved. So just pure fun. And all you have to do is answer as quickly as you can the questions that we will flash on the screen. So you will submit your answers via chat box, and the first one to answer correctly wins. So thumbs up if you get the mechanics. So again, all you have to do is to answer as quickly as you can the questions that we will flash on the screen, and you will submit your answers via chat box. Ayan. So again, the first one to answer correctly wins. So again, if you understand the instructions, kindly give us a thumbs up. Yeah, thank you, everyone. So let's see the first question on the screen. So again, type in your answer in the chat box. Okay, the first question is, complete the sentence. Meet the CEO celebrating women leaders in the workplace is First Metro Assets A, is it fourth, or B, fifth, the run for the National Women's Month? Yeah. Who's the first one to answer? Oh, congratulations, Artlene. Ayan. So again, congratulations for winning. And again, this prizes will be sent to your email after this session. Next question would be, according to 2021 Grant Thornton's annual Women in Business report, how many percent of executives in top companies in the Philippines are women? Is it A, 52%, or B, 48%? Okay? Who said? Okay, so the correct answer is letter B, 48%. Okay, who's the first one? Hey, congratulations, Sir Joseph Mercado. On our last question, okay, true or false, according to our CEOs, another form of investments are self-care and experience. Yan. Is it true or false? According to our CEOs, another form of investments are self-care and experience. Okay, who's the first one to answer? Yes, congratulations, Helen Paul Bertanog, and congratulations to our lucky winners. And thank you so much for your participation A huge congratulations to our 3 winners, and you will be receiving an email from FAMI on how you can claim your prizes. So on that note, again, thank you everyone for tuning in this Saturday morning, and enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Thank you so much.